Hi, I'm Dr. Benjamin Gilad, one of the founders of the Academy of Competitive Intelligence. And surprise, surprise, I'm here to talk to you about the real competitive intelligence. Now, I realize that if I'm asking you to listen to a guy with an accent for 9 minutes, I at least should establish my credibility with you. So, if you don't know me from Adam, and I don't know Adam either, let me tell you a little bit about myself, with as little hype as possible. If you're in the space of competitive intelligence, you know us, you know the Academy, because we are the official grantor of the prestigious CIP, Competitive Intelligence Professional Certificate, and we are the only institution authorized by an external international accreditation agency. And we also trained thousands of managers in every function and every industry around the world in what we call becoming power users of intelligence, which means actually knowing how to use intelligence. Finally, the vast majority of competition analysts at the global Fortune 500 are our alumni, and we are very proud of them. But if you never took a class with us, you are likely to hold one of two misconceptions about competitive intelligence. If you're an old guard like me, you probably still think that competitive intelligence smacks of spooky spying. If you are a young manager, though, you think, oh, it's about compiling gigabytes of data from competitors' websites and going on their Facebook pages. And I'm here to suggest maybe, if that's what you intuitively think of competitive intelligence, you might be missing out on your most powerful tool at your disposal, your own intelligence. And I'm playing on words here because intelligence has two meanings: secrets of the enemy and IQ. Now, I leave the collection of secrets to the governments. No serious business engages in that. But when it comes to IQ, think of it in that way. Our intelligence is what evolution gave us to adapt to changing circumstances. Without it, humans wouldn't be here. And that adapting ability is crucially dependent on an innate, a born ability to search the physical environment for change and actually recognize early signs of change before it's too late. Now, in the business world, it's exactly the same. An intelligence organization is one that adapts to changes in the market. And it depends crucially on an organizational ability to search for change and to recognize early signs of change. So we call it at the Academy strategic early warning process. If you think that intelligence is just compiling tons of meaningless data about every competitor out there, you might be shortchanging yourself and your company. Now, I can hear you saying, well, how much am I shortchanging? So you want to know what the return on investment is in competitive intelligence? I'll give you a number, 1,000%. Now, this is over 2 years, so we are talking about 231.66% on an annual basis. You probably think I'm selling you hype. But consider that Verizon, one of the largest telecom companies in the world, bought a company called AOL. If you are as old as I am, you remember AOL as one of the pioneers as an internet service provider. But since then, it has fallen on very hard times. Verizon paid $4.4 billion for AOL. And analysts asked why paying such a huge premium. And Verizon explained the reasoning. And the reasoning was that in the big picture, Verizon realized that its traditional revenue growth engines, like getting more subscribers for wireless, is petering out. Every subscriber you get, you have to fight for it. It's a zero-sum game with AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon decided they needed a new revenue growth engine, and decided it will be by offering video advertising services, which is the fastest form of advertising. AOL had an advanced technology platform for video advertising. This is why Verizon paid $4.4 billion. Now, the reasoning is very sound. So where's the catch? Here's the catch. Tim Armstrong, AOL visionary CEO, bought that video advertising technology platform 2 years earlier from a company called Adapt.tv. Adapt.tv, wonderful play on words. And he paid for that $405 million. So look at it from the flip side. Tim Armstrong's invested $405 million and sold AOL for $4.4 billion. That's a 1,000% return on investment. But look at it from the flop side. If Verizon had managers and executives with skills to watch the world for change and to recognize early signs of change, then it would have bought similar technology for a few $100s several years earlier. Instead, it had to pay a $1,000 premium. This is the power of competitive intelligence. This is the power of strategic early warning. Now, you might say, well, that number is exaggerated because we really don't know how much, and if anybody would have bought AOL, and for what price if it didn't have the technology. So I want to give you another example. And I want to give you another example because the idea of watching the world for early signs of change is easy to say, but it's very tiring and very difficult to keep on a constant basis. Most successful managers and most successful companies coast. This is an expression in strategy that suggests you repeat what you know how to do best. You coast. Having to watch for change all the time is an effort, and it's only natural that you coast from time to time. You stop watching. And it doesn't matter who you are. You can be Intel, you can be Tata, you can be in Google, you can be Samsung. We have seen signs of coasting with managers and executives in every company we ever worked with, especially market leaders. The fact that it's natural suggests that you have to have some kind of a push for a systematic process. Here's a story about one push. It's about a guy named Larry Fink. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. BlackRock is the largest financial asset management company in the world. Larry Fink built it from $0 to $5 trillion under asset. $trillion. It's bigger than the gross domestic product of India, Britain, and Russia together. It's bigger than Japan gross national product. So we are talking about a huge amount of assets under management. But he didn't start that way. When he started in the 70s, he was a trader on the floor of an American investment bank called First Boston. And he was among the pioneers of an instrument called mortgage-based securities. They became infamous later on during the financial crisis in 2008, but at the time they were ingenious because large institutional investors didn't want to go into the housing markets and assess each mortgage separately. In order to allow them to invest large amount of monies in real estate, he and several others combined thousands of mortgages into an instrument called mortgage-based security, which had presumably the risk diversified, and it allowed them to come in, and God, did they come into that market. But despite being among the early architects of that particular security, Lawrence Fink himself, in short order, in 1986, lost $100 million on trade in that security. Nah, we all lose $100 million here, $100 million there. It's not a big deal, right? But it may suggest to you that the process of watching is important, because listen to what Larry Fink himself said about what he learned from that experience. He said, I thought that I had the market figured out, and I was wrong, because while I wasn't watching, the market has changed. Coasting, which is the opposite of watching, can be extremely costly. Now, I'm not suggesting you lose $100 million and that will push you to watch, but Larry Fink said it was the most important lesson in his life. He never stopped watching since then. He created a whole organization that watches. But the strategic process doesn't happen on its own. You've got to have some structure to make it effective. You've got to have some rules. You don't search all over the place. It's not efficient. Most importantly, you've got to have people who are skilled in recognizing early signs of change. And the idea that you have these people is the beginning of a culture that actually is a competitive intelligence or culture or an intelligent organization. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of BlackRock, Larry Fink gathered 100 of his top executives in a room in Barcelona, and this is what he chose to tell them. If you think you know everything about our business, you are kidding yourself. That's a competitor you don't want to face, because his company never stopped watching. And what I'm suggesting to you is that if you think competitive intelligence is piling more and more and more meaningless data about some competitors, think again, because what Larry Fink is telling you is you've got to watch the world all the time, and it's hard. So if I have convinced you a little bit that competitive intelligence is not just meaningless data, perhaps you'd like to give us a chance to train you or your people in how to watch, what to ask, where to look. There are methodologies behind watching the world for change. I thank you for watching us, and we teach you to watch the world. Thank you.